Hello, going to do something a bit different today. I'm going to do a walk around a place that I grew up called Poynton. Right, as you all know, I'm a bit of a railway buff, but this is the old Marple to Macclesfield Railway, which is now called the Middlewood Way, which is a walk unto itself, and I'll try and do at some point down in the future. But this is a place called Higher Poynton Station. And as I say, they shut a lot of these all over the country in the 60s, but it has left an absolutely beautiful walking way. Right, there's a beautiful old pub here called the Boar's Head, which is right next to somewhere called Nelson Pit, where there is a car park, and basically we're going straight up the road in the middle of the shop. So here's the car park. It is free. They do sometimes lock it, so be wary. But there's a ranger station there and also some loos. Right, just overlooking the Higher Poynton Canal here. Now, coal mining played a huge part of this area's development, probably for the last 200 years or so. So the area is littered with old inclines, and as I say, we've got the canal and also the railway. So it very much was a part of the working landscape. Also, though, very beautiful to walk down. You can go all the way to Macclesfield one way and Marple the other. Right, so we just come up the small roads, and basically you'll see there's a bridge over the canal, so this is going to lead us towards where we're heading, which is called Bowstones. Basically, it's quite a prominent house which is on top of a place called Lyme Park. Views are spectacular, it's also very quiet, and also it's on the Gritstone Trail, but it's not an area well visited. Right, you just walk for about 200 yards, but basically you do come to sort of a Y junction. You're going straight ahead, literally straight on down here, and just in the background you can see the back entrance to Lyme Park. Right, as you can see, the track, it's nice and even. We started off about 140 metres up, but you do get quite high doing this walk. But basically, middle of the shot is what we call the Bowstones, named after some ornamental rocks that were found at the top. Right, after about half an hour and about a 200-metre climb, you come to this point. It's actually the back gate, and they do shut it in the evenings. Dusk is a sort of a good point of reference as to when they will shut it, but it does get shut, so do be careful. Right, just a look round from about 750 feet or so, right over the Cheshire plain. Right over there in that direction is Manchester, behind that Bury, Rochdale, etc. Then we're just starting to look over towards the Pennines and Peak District proper. Right, just entering the park proper, and if we just look over towards our right, there is another entrance into the park that way. Right, basically we're heading straight for the middle of that shot, that beautiful wood that we'll be heading in, and then between those two lovely trees, right in the middle there, is the Bowstones which we're heading for. So we're going to join the Gritstone Trail now to actually get up there. Just a quick shot of why a lot of people come here. This is Lyme Hall. Now, this used to be owned by the Lee family, and basically they own this huge acreage, which obviously was recently subsequently taken over by a National Trust. But the house itself is absolutely fantastic, gorgeous gardens, and basically Mr. Darcy, i.e. Colin Firth, stripped off in its ornamental fountain pool. So that's where you might know this from. Right, after about 45 minutes and about 1.8k, you come to this spot here, a cattle grid with a small gate to the right, and you will see just signposted in the middle of the shot there, that is the Gritstone Trail. So this is the main car park here for Lyme Park. This is where everyone normally visits. The house is behind, well worth going in and having a look, but we're going to go right. Just through a small gate here, and then we're onto the Gritstone Trail proper. Now Bowstones is in the middle of the shot, but right in the foreground is actually the deer park. So what they'll often do is they have red deer, they also have some fallow deer as well, but they'll tend to separate them sort of around the time of the rut. But just as I say, to look round now, we're really starting to get some terrific views in the middle of the picture there, right over the Cheshire Plain. Right, this is an hour in, but Manchester's right in the middle of the shot there. We're looking right into North Lancashire over there, and just turning around, overlooking where the Peak District starts and the Pennines are right in the background. But this is at 900 feet, about an hour in. Right, after an hour you just come to this gate and basically head straight through the woodland. It's absolutely beautiful at this time of year. Right, there's the house in the middle of the shot, then just behind it you'll see something that's called the cage, and that basically was like a folly that was built, but you can see it for miles around. It's very well known in the area, and you can sometimes go in it. Right, just straight ahead, just off the Gritstone Trail to the left, is actually the path through the deer park. Just depends what time of year it is as to whether you can use it. Right, we're just looking north now, down the main thoroughfare through to Lyme Hall. As you can see, it's just fabulously worked. The way how those trees provide this beautiful promenade towards it, it's great. And if I just do a 180, that's the way out as well. I mean, it's just pristine, and I mean, it must be hundreds of years old, but it's still here and it's still just beautiful to look at. Straight ahead though, that's a Gritstone Trail, so about an hour and 10 in. Yeah, I've been messing about a bit doing the filming, but it's to enjoy this walk. So we're going to be headed towards Park Moor. Now a great reason to do this walk is basically just to show how what is, you know, a very accessible park actually can turn out to be a completely wild adventure. So in about 10 minutes, we're literally probably going to be, in my favourite phrase, going to Scotland again, because you will just see some of the most amazing moorland, and we might even see some deer. I feel like I'm in Canada actually, forget Scotland. Now I've probably been coming to Lyme Park for about 40 years. I'll honestly say it was only probably about 5 years ago that suddenly, at this gate, rather than going left, I went straight on. I'll show you what's over the other side. Right, now for years as a family, we'd always come round this corner and go left. Don't get me wrong, it was absolutely beautiful. But I was always intrigued about what was up this path here, because actually if you just look over here, this is called Park Moor. Back in Scotland again. Right, we're at about 1,000 feet now, roughly about an hour and 15 done, and the target is straight in front of us. It does have some communication masts around it, so it does make it easy to find. Right, about an hour and 20 in, about 3.5 kilometres, just overlooking Nightslow Wood. Down over there in the distance of the Welsh Mountains, and genuinely to the left, I've not got the equipment for it, but basically about half a click away I can see about 15 wild red deer. Wow. Right, I've always felt this was the money shot of this walk. So straight ahead is Bleaklow in the Derbyshire Peak District. Just moving around now, that's overlooking Lyme Park. The cage is in the middle of the shot, and then just to the left we've got Bury, Rochdale, in the middle there Manchester. Moving around over here Now, whether you can see that in a million years, but basically the horizon in the background there is actually Widnes, and I can even see some of the Welsh hills right in the background over there. It's an amazing place. Here we go, the final stile before the actual Bowstones. Way. Right, and here we are. So the Gritstone Trail takes a right here. Then, as I say, we've got the public footpath to Charles Head, or you can go literally direct 90 degrees straight over to Whaley Bridge and Kettleshume. But it's a terrific walk actually straight over there, a place called Spons Hill. It's absolutely brilliant. But that was slick. This is the Bowstones cottages. I grew up looking at this thing, but it's only, as I say, about 5 years ago I ever came up here. So glad I did. And here they are, the Bowstones. It's not Stonehenge now. Always make sure though, for luck. I don't kiss them out, that'd be weird, but you know, always for luck. Right, just have a final look round. Basically, straight ahead, right on the background of the horizon, is Kinder Scout. Just moving around this way, as I say, we're overlooking Whaley Bridge and Kettleshume. Straight ahead is Wingather Rocks, which just now in the middle of the picture on the horizon is Cat's Tor, then Shining Tor. Then right in the background, I'm trying to get it right in the middle, but that's Shutlinslow. I basically came up here sort of as a part of the whole process of learning how to climb and just trying to get fit, but I've done this walk in 45 minutes. It's been an hour and 45 today, but do you know what? I'm really glad I took my time. So thanks very much for coming with us. It's 1,300 feet this, 4 kilometres, but I tell you what, you go from absolute chaos around the main park so you can suddenly come out here and wow, just look at it, it's amazing. So thanks very much for coming with me to the Bowstones. Oh, just one very last thing about which way home. Well, to be honest, I'd go back exactly the way you've come, because this time you can really enjoy it, because it really is all downhill. Thanks again for watching, much obliged.